will be for this series is, hey, we don't need you to be Koala Noob. We need you to beat Koala Noob. So we'll see how often we get that duel as we get an early knife to get us started. It's Nismo and Xander working hand in hand out towards A, and oh, nobody's home here in A main. We'll see what they decide to do with that information. As speaking of Koala Noob, takes a bit of damage early.
Yeah, chance spam through the smoke as Koala was just trying to get to ramp safely. Does get the hit off there, but Narrate, because doesn't have that armor, a little bit of an easier target, and bam, EU with the headshot, puts him to rest right away. Says, I'll show you a thing or two about how to use a Sheriff.
Yeah, I love that from EU too, just aggressive in that Sheriff pickup. Only gonna have the Haunt to play with. Meanwhile, the kill out towards B, it hasn't shaken up the defense too much. Ainge just takes a space inside of A main. He'll eventually be met by 2 defenders, then 3 more to follow as he dances around the box after finding the first kill, finds the second, and all right, things even as the rotates start to come on through. Again, Koala chipped away at. That Haunt goes down, a dash on in, takes more damage from the Nano Swarm, but Zexro just wasn't ready for the aggression, and sure, Drone gets one. That has not been enough as that spike will get planted.
Maybe assuming that that jet dash into Cloudburst was going to be some type of spike plant. Instead, he's like, nah, buddy, I'm coming for your spawn. That's a huge frag and a huge move from Koala Noob. And now at least Trick all alone in a 1 versus 2 when it's all said and done. Just does have utility, but that will give his position away. So he's trying to be a little bit sneaky about it.
Trick has made the change to play the Sky here, an agent he feels a bit more comfortable on. Koala just going to be playing contact off his teammate, who's still here on the site, and the Sheriff proficiency is there. 3.
Going to continue to bring big numbers for this M80 squad. Because that was a very convincing pistol there from M80.
And they're looking to make it a convincing anti-eco, but aggression here. Stinger's on the opposite end. Xander picks up 1 with that Stinger, swaps weapons on over, finds 3 of his own. Showing EU how to get it done there. 2 rifles, 1 in the hand of Koala, 1 in the hand of EU. And Dust, I can very confidently say that if you go back and look at any NRG broadcast when EU was on the team, you were this guy's biggest hype man, always giving love to EU. So yeah, so for anybody who may doubt that,
it's because I've just seen people pass them over. Like, people always talk about, like, some of the other initiators in North America, you know, and for good reason. Like, those guys are good too. Like, a couple other names I didn't mention are names like a Crashies or a Trent. Like, those are definitely 2 really big names in NA as well. But I'm telling you, EU he's right up in that same zone for me, man. Like, I don't think he's that far off those guys.
Nothing's perfect.
An Impa Stinger and a Spectre.
I dig it. I dig it.
I'm hungry.
Double decker sandwich. You should have ate. We had a break there. I mean, you had your moment.
I didn't want to miss the interview, man.
Okay. Well, I did miss some of it to partake in some pasta. Anyway, let's see how M80 plays out this bonus. It looks like they definitely want to play the contact play on B. Stars are starting to go down to provide a little bit of smoke cover as they try to enter into the site. We've already broken through some of the Killjoy utility, but some still remains.
Yeah, I mean, complete vacancy. Here we go. 0 occupants on the B site. Go ahead and find yourself a room, and that's exactly what they do. They get that spike planted, and now everybody backs away to their respective rooms. Meanwhile, a glaring issue in Series 1 was the lack there of playing around the entirety of the map, and we're getting it again here as they come from spawn. Zex will find the first out from the link, and maybe it doesn't matter. Strength and numbers starting to work here as they push their way onto the site. Nismo finally able to answer for 1. Narrate going to find his way onto the board, to tap onto the spike. That's a quick kill, make it 3 for Nismo. Finds the 4th, but it's just not enough. Narrate there to hang on, and Mad Lions are on the board.
Yeah, it looked pretty scary at first. I mean, M80 had pretty good post-plant position. Lions don't really have a whole lot of repurchasing power here. M80 off back of the bonus, meanwhile, has the full buy operator in Koala Noob's hands.
Which is not something strange to this M80 team, or any team that Koala's on, right? The attacking operator is something that Koala feels incredibly comfortable on, and I would imagine is why you can attest so many first kills to this player. That information going to be garnered by Trick, the sole player here on the B sites after that flash. Looks to play the jump peek, and he almost gets punished for it. He gave up a whole lot there to Koala. Unfortunately, just couldn't take a bite.
Yeah, it's going to spin the Trailblazer from Trick just to make sure that there's not too many numbers here. Also going to get that rotation from Narrate. I feel like they want to maybe even swing together as Colony was pushing pretty deep on the pillars with this operator. Now Narrate gets the frag, dashes back into back, hauls, and again, Koala just barely misses a shot there. That's a huge frag from Narrate. Trick does get tagged, but still victory to Mad Lions as far as defending the B front.
And I guess in tandem with that stat that we had, Koala Noob's first kills versus first deaths, a 25% win chance when there has been a first death for M80, but Koala is still alive. So for the M80 fans, this one still could quite possibly be a third round. Nismo going to try to ensure that it is. As the concuss goes out, Xander going to push right through the nanos, and when the smokes are up, now pushing backside as that sees, we'll look to garner some information. Nismo warded the spike plant, and unfortunately, Ain's just going to get run down. You talked about how bad the buy is, and we're starting to see it come to fruition. They just don't have the guns to thwart off the attack here of M80. Now Trick, low HP, yes, has the credits. Doesn't necessarily have to save. He's actually going to toss it over to Drone, see how much damage he can get here. Flash goes out. Operator from main. Koala going to find one. Nismo to close us out, and M80 will
Test.
Things are going to be a little bit more difficult now to M80 to find that map control with the Sniper in his hands.
Blinded.
Heaps of respect. Heaps of respect here. Shots with the wall. Koala actually getting tagged up. I believe it was Zex just shooting some through the mid doors.
Agreed.
Need that back.
Yeah, M80 just taking a lot of presence at middle right now. Maybe looking to slam a little bit of art control. Maybe even attack the B link and just threaten that a little bit to kind of keep people honest. The thing is, there's a lot of attention being paid defensively to Link because they're trusting Narrate to hold B alone solo with that op on the long angle. Tricked, rewarded for his focus on the doors. It's going to take down EU, so that's another early man advantage here for Mad Lions.
And they're playing very well off the back end of this utility. Finally collecting a second is Drone, not before John will pick up one the way of M80. But players still in favor of the defense. And I mean, health bars still in favor. If we're taking the amount of players out of the equation, M80 are in a terrible spot. Nismo, just about half HP. Now he's down to 0 as Zex will collect the kill on the round. Found that early damage onto Koala and expecting some aggression, but now just waiting for the rest of the team to work their way on through. Flash finds nothing to get things started. John, the next one to fall. And Koala, you got an operator, buddy, but I mean, you're going to have 4 targets here in front of you. They're all going to start to swing you. A 1v1 given the way of the Jets, and Zexro hunters for that play there. And Koala just going to hope to back away and keep this operator in hand.
My ult's ready.
Yeah, really well defended there by Mad Lions, getting an opening kill for Xander this time around. But other than that, full buys for both squads. Lockdowns available for both sides.
I believe that's fast. The Stinger also only comes with 3 stars in total, and as you said, yeah, the pace is, they're definitely pushing it here, but they're caught with util out. It was a flash and then a Prowler's. Koala there for the trade. Now looking to work his way onto the side. Has a rifle, but the operator here on pillar. Scoped rifle, turned shotgun, no, turned scoped shotgun as he right-clicks and finds the body of Koala. That's the Jet down, and Narrate looking unfazed here in their first official for the Challenger circuit. And he's going to ask for some more. Lockdowns traded back and forth. The Prowler finds absolutely nothing, but eventually this attack in M80 are going to have to find their way off the site, and it looks like they want to do so aggressively. Nope, okay, one going to get detained, should be run down, saved for a moment. Now they've got this triangulation as there's the detained member to fall, and it's everybody else right behind him. Mad Lions tie us up.
Yeah, really well handled. That was a lot of B-link pressure that came real quick, but a couple of frags going Mad Lions' way, despite being overwhelmed by num. Curious to see how they're going to use these 2 ops. Obviously, one will play long B as always, but I'm kind of curious how they use the other.
And for now, it looks like inside art. Oof, okay. I mean, great util there. Stars down, same fragment. Stun finally gets some value, or will get some value here in this round. And I said will, I'm sorry, I spoke a little too soon. It's too soon to be mentioning.
Oh.
The name there is Narrate. Okay, looking a little shaky. Spots a couple of members, and unfortunately, can't quite pinpoint the shot onto one. This time it's different, right? It's not fast out towards B. They want to try and split the A site, but do they know that the operator is here?
I think M80 is just trying to scramble the defense as best as they can. I mean, they know that they don't have a whole lot to work with, but now they have a 5-on-4. They have a rifle in Nismo's hands, and Koala still has Bladestorm. So, you know they're behind, so to speak, as far as firepower goes. There's win conditions for them here. They're going to try to use Cosmic Divide to get into B site and block off Heaven and backhauls. They know that there could be someone pillars, though, and that's why Koala goes looking for it. But Trick finds the frag, but John with the pinch.
Yeah, John, great timing there. Trick was looking to find another. Unfortunately, could not do so. Now that spike gets planted, Knight falls out. Narrate pushes the wall, tries to take the shot, and unfortunately, it goes wide once more as we trade. Nightfall for Nightfall here on the site. It's all up to Mad Lions to look to retake this one, and they have to do so with 2 operators here. Dust, it feels awful as another shot will go wide. Seas goes out to now Drone, the liaison for the operators. He looks to push back sight, led by Nismo. Neri can hold the angle, take the shot, and land it up close and personal. And unfortunately, the ADS, the sense just wasn't there. Zex punished for having the operator there on the site to narrate, forced to head for the hills.
Yeah, then that was one of my major concerns about seeing them have the double op, is how are you going to retake with it? You know, that is always the risk that you take going that route. That's why you can see the trust is there in each other. Like, they know that, hey, maybe I'm gonna go down, but you're gonna bring the other one down too, and we're gonna make this work. So, man, Koala's so nuts. Like,
it just doesn't care.
Yeah, you really do. I mean, this is just a wild, just walk forward push with the op.
And in this angle, expecting, just saying to himself, surely there's only gonna be one here. I don't care. Right, I'm not going to pop the tailwind. There's only going to be one on this angle. And just walking out towards mid, making sure that he can save that dash. It's confidence.
Again, look at the B-Link control that gets instilled early as well. I mean, they are just having so much map control so early. And obviously this round, there's not a whole lot for Mad Lions to work with, so fair enough.
A little bit of self-sabotage there. Flashes come out. Sky Flash on the opposite end, and as you mentioned, Dust, the buy just isn't the best. A couple of sheriffs left in the hands of 2 separate M80 from finding their 6th round. Whereas Mad, their recipe for success is let's get Narrate in the mix. Fortunately, Trick able to get one back, hurt the economy just a bit. Not before Nismo awarded another kill here.
Honestly, M80's often avoided that. Like, they've been more interested in just fighting for this A orb, taking mid control, you know, maybe threatening B Link. You know, they're trying to not play into that long angle and give Narrate early chances. Look at Koala. What is this, man? Like, who is this bold?
Yeah. And to think, right, there could be an alarm bot there. If you just walk up, you're not going to op shot the alarm bot, surely, right? No, at this time, though, it is a turret. It is a nano swarm. It does force the dash out. So already a small victory the way of Mad Lions. Good damage onto the Opera, but we know 46 health is enough for anybody with an op in their hands to find kills.
Yeah, they've been swatted back, that's for sure. And we're seeing Trick get some extra intel by pushing Outlong A as deep as he has. So that's going to give them a little bit more comfort and kind of focusing in on Art and B Link defensively while still trusting Narrate to hold the long B angle. Meanwhile, M80 have no real presence on the periphery of the map, so they're going to have to just kind of keep focused on B-Link or Art and kind of pick one of those options based on what they're feeling. This is a big 1v1 that's probably about to happen here between Trick and Thaner that could really dictate this round.
Well, how about the 1v1 that's possible? Narrate looking to play the jump peaks. Shorty comes out and Koala tries to deal with the haunt. As that guiding light gets a little weird, Nismo once more pops the ult. Fortunately gets taken down. Resurrection available. Trick, though, playing backstab all the way out towards main, and now they have to worry about where this Sky is at. He's been pivotal here in the retake as Narrate's asleep on the angle for a second too long. Could not get the rifle up, and it allows for the cross onto the site, and it allows John Q to just start cutting down his teammates around him. As it's all up to Narrate and Trick once more. Seekers for information. Only 3 of 4 to be detected. EU to be taken down, standing just atop the spike. Narrate wants to go aggressive, has the op. John Cutie falls asleep on the angle, looks the wrong way, and this one looking that much more digestible here as both players play inside. Art, the flashes through. Nismo, the next to fall. Koala has to hang on. The shot goes wide. Narrate just has to hold the angle. Koala does it again. The knives online, the classic in hand, and the blades will be enough for the eBay clutch.
Frags and 10 rounds played, and just so much impact. A critical moment, because not only does he win the clutch to win the round, but look what he does to Mad Lions economy because of it.
Faith, however,
Here.
in the hands of Narrate. Put a rifle in his hands. Can't quite close out the kill, though. So Koala allowed to survive. We saw what he did with 46 HP in the Operator in the previous round. This time it's 40 HP in the Operator, but damage to the starter round no less.
Koala able to pick up on Trick there. He was trying to take a bit of a swing. Meanwhile, mid-presence still being held by Xander, so it's not as if M80 aren't keeping tabs elsewhere on the map, as they're looking to really kind of keep the issue pressed at B off the top of their lockdown, just now pushing the defense back quite a ways. You do see that Narrate's trying to kind of stick around for something, but now realizes he needs to back up, and Xander's catching some action at middle in the meantime. So M80's just kind of controlling everything here.
They really are. Narrate, the only rifle on the round here, escaped from the prison out towards long. Allowed to survive. Now going to look to fight back onto the site. Swing on pillar. It's being held, but unfortunately, EU allows that kill to come through. Nismo dies. Now this one, maybe doable. Rifle down to be picked up. It's a stinger now in the hands of Ainge. The Nebula smoke should subside here momentarily. A tap onto the spike once more. Grab while Narrate can't quite sneak on out. A smoke of their own. They're trying to play the stick. And the diffuser's been killed, and it's all up to EU to try and hang on here. But look at the HP for Drone. There's just nothing left in the tank. And M80 will find playing in the first kills that he's finding.
He just has no fear
No fear
on some of the angles that he takes with this Operator early in these rounds. But he has a support system to help him do it. You know, these guys are willing to back him up, take care of any utility that might get lobbed this way, and try to keep him in these forward positions. This time, it's a bit of a stalemate at A.
And there's Util to deal with this. Star down, couple nano swarms. Flash out over the top. It allows M80 to take a main. There's the smoke. And that one will stay put. We'll see how M80 traverse this Nebula. Just under a minute left on the clock. The defenders haven't get up their spots just yet. And Trick, anything but passive here, playing just on the site to make sure nobody pushes that smoke. And a bit closer on the angle here in Flowers as well.
Nightfall available for M80 to take the site with 12 smokes going down, and they are indeed going to press forward with that. Spy Flash is coming in as well. Qualanoob using it to get the pick on the Trick.
And something very scary is the amount of util dumped here. And for M80, they're saying, we're just going to win everything out, right? You're still waiting on that Gravity Well to come back. You don't have that fragment. And unfortunately, you don't have Qualanoob either. Two players now that stand for M80. And what do they have to play in the post plan? Fortunately, John's hung on to the nano swarms and the alarm bot. Not really in a position, though. And look at where the spike's at. At this point, if you're mad, where are you expecting these players to be at? That they've planted the spike backside. Do you expect one default? No, the clear is out towards Secret. You only goes good for one, and John, unfortunately, couldn't get the util down. He takes the rifle fight, and he loses it. Mad back on the board here at the end of the round.
Yeah, that's one of those rounds where I wish Qualanoob would have fallen back into the 3-on-3 post plan instead of taking that fight.
Lots of respect, even in that round previous, where they used that lockdown out towards B long. You would think that at this point in the game, M80 feel comfortable to just walk forward and take fights, but instead they still continue to play this util game. And then last round of the half, they get a little outside themselves. Meanwhile, 4 defenders here on the A site, and only one home here. It's John Cutie to call the rest of the team over and say, hey, B site now under fire, and he's actually getting crunched here inside Link.
Yeah, Mad wasting no time pinching B. John Cutie about to feel the heat here as Drone and company are looking to box him in. Narrate will be the one to find the frag, but it was certainly pressure from all angles that was the demise of John Cutie, and Narrate continues to pop off.
And Koala just dashed right onto the side, I think, just before the flash, and he's immediately dealt with. So again, M80 just getting outside themselves, and Mad Lions capitalizing on these forward positions. As I say that, though, Xander and EU look to get things back to the way that they should be, the way that M80 want them to be. But Narrate and Zex Road, they get to play the clock, and they're very healthy here in the pistol round. Armor onto one. Narrate just going to quickly deal with them all. 3 kills for the young Jet. Zex Road there to top.
And so it's going to close the gap on the scoreboard just a touch.
And they do it again. Obviously a lot lesser of a buy, so expectations probably quite a bit lower, but
Here.
0 point out for information. John Cutie left alone on the B site. And he's backed all the way. He's making sure that no crunch this time.
Meanwhile, Koala trying to make a huge press into attacker spawn by himself. No, not by himself. He's got some support, but that alarm bot's going to give him away. Zexro's now going to go take a little bit of a jiggle peek. But will he expect the angle that Koala already has? May not wind up mattering.
Yeah, I'm wondering if spotting the Killjoy util and the KO, they think that the stack is B, so they quickly set their eyes elsewhere.
Koala's hearing all this.
Yeah, and Koala's got it all. We'll see how much they check here, or if at all. Drone looking to get the high ground.
Surely
maybe
not.
should be the one. No, he's just gonna jump on over the top. Unfortunately, Hinge is there to do their due diligence. Clears out that corner to make sure Koala gets nothing.
Oh, wow. What a check from Ainge. Like, if he doesn't, this gets very interesting, as we are going to see the arc split through long now as well. EU gets a couple of those. It gets 3. Are you serious?
3 right clicks the way of EU. He's got himself a rifle. There's the 4th. There's the 5th. Give him the ace.
I did all the
And then aces. I find something more crazy than that. I challenge you out there, world.
It's the player that you have just been hyping up to no end. Now Koala wants to try and match that. He wants the aces. He'll go up top. It's Nismo to find the first kill. Drone on the receiving end of the Phantom spray. Some more right behind it. Koala eventually dealt with after he finds his one. Speaking of one, it's all up to Zexro, but a doable one. Got himself a Bulldog. Has a kill out towards Art, so his position has been noted. 0 point to turn off the abilities. A situation where if Zexro can find this kill on to Nismo, he's got the entire map to play within a 1v1, and Nismo is not the healthiest robot on the planet.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of damage to him. I like how they're just kind of forfeiting this and just playing together. I think that's the smartest approach. Zexro is looking to
and that
keep
turret
on moving with the spike.
missed.
Yeah.
So they crept all the way back through mid. Zex just got in range of his turret. Unfortunately, just missed the 2 players of M80 as they walked through Art.
I mean, is he going to go all the way around to B? I mean, he's using his turret to try to get himself into middle safely, but from there, I'm not sure what he's thinking. He's going to go Art. And I mean, he's going right into the hand of Nismo and Xander, unfortunately.
The 2 players, the team, that can afford to be wrong, right? They've got the 2. So if he plants B, they're happy to retake together. He is going to storm his way onto the safe site. Oh, okay. Nismo getting outside of himself for just a second.
How it could have come together that way. Oh, my goodness. Sorry. Yeah, I'm still feeling that one.
Literal no response from the 3 classic right clicks. Just one right after the other.
So crazy. You know, like that meme, like, I'll never financially recover from this?
Yeah.
How do you mentally recover from that?
Well, I think Mad Lions are still reeling in that thought.
Sure.
How do they?
bot coming back.
Ugh. All right. Getting back to a sense of normalcy. Both teams on full buys here. Op available for Koala Noob defensively. Trying to play a little bait and switch perhaps with Nismo over on the B side. Really relying on the Killjoy and Aceu utility to kind of guard the middle of the map and all the other areas. Lockdown being used to try to get A, but the counter Nightfall kind of swats it back for a moment.
The players here, however, not affected inside Art. They are going to push their way through the utility, flash out to the backside, but there's Nebula smoke. No, there's just EU standing there to take the fight, but the bloodshed, it's finally over. That spike will get planted.
Spike planted.
And as the smoke subside, 2 players remain on both sides. Operator in the hands of Koala, uncharacteristic, makes the miss, but Nismo makes the most of it. And of course, it's the dynamic duo from Ghost to M80. And they'll find an 11th round.
He's letting them know about it. He wants him to stew on that one a little longer.
Talk your talk, Koala. You're allowed. You can.
I mean, this has been...
Important.
There was a brief in some of the small little things he's played. Again, we talked about it before the game. He had 5 official best of 1s and 1 best of 3 before this series today. Period. This is going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Because they are not giving up pillar. They are just tanking that util and fighting back with their own.
I thought there was a world where EU gets value there because it was Nismo who was spotted, but he gives himself up with the haunt, and now another one here. It's Koala up close and personal. Will sneak away, not before taking some damage, but that is just the Koala way, it seems.
I like how they're re-clearing out B-Link this way to make sure that they at least have some type of wall they can back up to. Narrate coming in, though, with the judge. EU is going to strike down the gavel of his own, though.
Oh, okay, Trick. Gonna swap off of his rifle to that judge. Fortunately, EU there to trade once more. Eventually taken down, and numbers now favor Mad Lions as they work to get that spike planted. A Prowler into Link to make sure nobody pushes that angle. But as we see, it's John Cutie out towards the spawn. It's Xander up inside the heavens. The cosmic divide that separates them from this site for now. And unfortunately, a turret. Okay, they'll give it to him. I'm saying not a very telling turret. Players could still be back sight. The wall will subside. Xander and play the angle back halls. Look at the economy. This might just be an M80 save. You would think that they've got all Gucci everything, but that's just not the case. Haunt dealt with. Trick followed just before that. I think maybe the ideas weren't the same as John Cutie wanted to back away from it, but now they're just taking this site. They're both so low. They've got the high-low, but Angel spray him down and clutch it out.
You lose this round, it's probably GG. Just the economy's not there to rebuy if you take an L here.
Yeah, and it is still a losable round when you look at what's available, right? Bladestorm for Koala. Xander here with the rifle. Gonna look to take the first fight. That's Narrate gone. Make it Trick as well. Make it Drone. 3 kills for Xander. He picks up right where he left off in the round previous. And Dust, it's like you wrote it in the death note.
Yeah. Just every role on this team is capable of producing that level of firepower. And that's what makes this team so scary.
And,
you can't really pick a weak link on M80.
I think the weakest thing we've seen so far from M80 was the call to play high-low with 5 HP collectively, right? Like that's the worst play that we've really seen from this team. They are just so well drilled and individually as strong as they could be in their respective roles.
You know what, Zek? I love the optimism of Zexro here that he thinks that he can get this flank, but there's just too many M80 members around to not be sniffing this. You know what I mean? Like,
one enemy remaining.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's like he sees him. The reaction times?
There's just too many members alive. So there's not going to be any stone unturned, so to speak. Nange, though, gets a couple of frags here, making it a little interesting, but no time to really make much progress past that. So it will be map point for M80. And the problem is outside of this Vandal that Ainge will save, there's just nothing else really going to be there credits-wise for them. I mean, obviously they'll buy what they can because it's potential.
There it is, the sticks and stones that you mentioned, right? The one rifle that comes back into it, another one picked up. I think one of the best investments you can make. And, I mean, good on Ainge, right? Saves that weapon, gives it over to Trick. Or Narrate, however that one went respectively. Because they have been doing so much for this team. They are the firepower thus far. We'll see if they can stick to that. Backs against the wall, 12-6. I fall down onto the A site. A bit of Killjoy utility. Expended here at the start of this one. Xander looking to spam. He's got himself a Vandal, so we'll back away to safety after Gravity Well goes at his feet. Narrate, however, goes aggressive, but EU, the run and gun is just too much. It's Nightfall on the opposite side. It's a backstab from John Cutie, who's looking to make me eat my words. 2 of his own as Ainge battles back, a sheriff in hand, and he deals with EU. And the clock now ticking, but that's the only member thus far to fall here for the defense. It's both out towards Art. It's Trick. It's Ainge. It's a Spectre. It's a Vandal. And they get to play with the clock. Spectre kill for the first. Backs away to safety. Now looking to drop the Cosmic Divide. A flash on the opposite side. John Cutie finds that third. Needs to find some more. Instead, he'll be silenced. And Nismo will pick up right where John left off. The final kill here on Pearl. And 13-6 is where we finish.
Defenders win.
Yeah, pretty convincing victory from M80, that's for sure. Kind of what we expected to see, but we've been surprised a couple of times this season when we've made that